If I could talk to my younger self, I would tell her exactly this: to celebrate yourself as you are, to love yourself. Don't try to be like someone else. Don't try to fit in. Just be you and embrace you and love your breasts just as they are. And that's it. Hi fam, how are you? I'm so happy to be here on another video. And as you can tell by the title of this video, I'm gonna be responding to your frequent questions regarding my explant surgery that I had a little over 6 months ago. A few weeks ago, I uploaded a video on my Instagram showing you the scars from my left breast, and I asked you to leave me comments or questions for me to answer in this video. When I first got surgery to remove my implants, I posted 2 videos here on my channel explaining why I got implants and my process during having my explant surgery and my first month of recovery and how my experience was having the surgery. So if you want to know the full story, I recommend that you watch those 2 videos first before watching this one. So, Running Sonia 1 asks, I know scars are a part of us for many different types of surgeries. I have mine from surgery to remove my gallbladder. Will you be getting some type of laser or other treatment to not make them so noticeable? We can't see them unless you show them like that in the picture, but for yourself. Just curious. Saludos, linda. You know what? I haven't actually thought about removing them with laser. I haven't gotten to the point where they bother me so much to do it. If I get to a point where I really don't want to see scars, then I might go in that direction and get them removed with laser. But for now, I'm just gonna use creams and let my body heal. And honestly, I don't really feel like doing anything, any part of my breasts right now. I just wanna let it be and let my body heal naturally. Matita21 says, how was the pain after implants? Honestly, the first week was the worst. I did feel a lot of pain. And the hardest thing was not being able to move because it hurt picking up basically anything. I had to sleep like sitting down basically. And for me, my recovery after taking out my implants was a little bit tough for that reason because I did feel a lot of pain, but I knew that it was temporary. So I took it as a time to rest and recover and let my body heal and do its thing. It was actually kind of a nice time because you don't really have a choice but to rest, and that's what I did. So yes, it was tough, but now I'm fine and I don't feel any pain. Soto Juana 33. How did you move mentally after the explantation surgery? Honestly, I prepared myself mentally before removing my implants, and I really thought about the reason why I was removing my implants. Number 1 was because it was contracted. It had a capsule around, and I wanted to remove that capsule anyways. Number 2 is because I decided that I didn't want anything foreign in my body. And number 3 was because of the symptoms that I experienced after putting in implants, which was having my hormones being unbalanced and also my hair. My hair was breaking a lot, I was losing hair, and my hair wasn't really growing back. So since I was mentally confident in removing my implants, I felt confident after removing my implants. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I do miss that feeling of having the fullness and the perkiness that implants give you, but I know that for me, the most important thing is health, and that goes beyond what my body looks or, you know, the vain ego side of me. Meadow Dewdrop. Did your physician recommend the explant surgery? Was it a negative reaction or a bad job? My physician didn't recommend an explantation. That was my decision. At the beginning, what I was gonna do was just basically change the implant because I had a capsule around my implant, so it was like contracted and it was really hard. So that was the initial thing that I was gonna do. I was gonna switch out the implant and that's it. It was gonna be a quick surgery. But then before I did that, I started to look into breast implant illness. I started to look into stories from women that had had symptoms from having implants inside of their bodies, and I began to be a little more conscious about having implants and how that actually impacted my body, my health, and if it was really worth it. So after meditating, after learning more about it, after educating myself, I decided that I wanted to remove my implants. So that was my decision. And answering to your other question was it a negative reaction or a bad job? I think it was a little bit of both, but mostly was that my body reacted negatively to the implants. My body rejected the implants since day one. And yes, my first surgeon did not do a good job. He did a terrible job, actually. So there were many complications, many things that he did wrong. First of all, he made them bigger. Second of all, instead of putting a smaller implant in me, he just cut more of my skin, took out more of my tissue, and cut in certain places that he didn't need to cut. And my boob the first time got infected. I explained all of this in my first video that I uploaded. So I think it was a little bit of both, but mostly it was that my body rejected the implant. G Marisol 20. What was the reason that made you get breast implants? Was it an insecurity thing, or was it just because other fellow colleagues, YouTubers, were getting them? So the reason why I got breast implants, because it was mostly an insecurity thing. I always had really big breasts and I was very insecure about them because they were saggy and big, and because I had a lot of trouble to find clothes that fit me. Also, I wanted to be able to not have to wear a bra, to wear tank tops, to have my side boob show, or just put on something that made my breasts look perky, and I felt insecure about them. So I wanted my breasts to be A, smaller, and B, perky, which is why I got a reduction and I put in an implant so that they would look perky. So yes, it was an insecurity thing for sure. And it's also something that I didn't really think about. I mean, I was seeing so many people around me getting implants, changing up their bodies with plastic surgery. And I saw it as something easy to do. I said, like, why not? If I can do it, then I'll just do it. So that's why I did it. But it was not because other fellow colleagues or YouTubers were getting them. Actually, when I removed my implants, a lot of the stories from the women who were getting them removed on social media helped me to make the decision to remove them and to know the implications and the negative consequences that can come from having implants. And seeing these women remove them inspired me and motivated me to do the same. Super Tracy, do they use local anesthesia? No, they use general anesthesia, which means that you completely go to sleep. I was set to have mine removed, but a friend passed from her surgery and I felt afraid and didn't want to after. I believe was anesthesia issue. I've read where some doctors can do a local and it's an office visit. I'm hoping that it's not bad info as I'm really wanting mine out. Honestly, I'm so sorry for your friend. I've never heard of that. I think the most important thing is to go to someone who you trust, that you feel comfortable with, that you have some recommendations from. That's what I did. I researched every single surgeon. I had meetings with different surgeons. I met up with them. I read about them. I read their reviews from other women who had had surgeries with them. And then I chose a surgeon that I felt safe with. So I think that obviously this case is not common. For the most part, it's a very safe procedure to get general anesthesia, and you just have to do it with someone who's experienced and that you trust. Perry Dote, have you felt a difference in your health since you've taken them out? Do you feel better, same, or worse? I honestly feel better. Two of the symptoms that I had were my hormones. I had hormone imbalance ever since I put my implants in, and now finally, after years, my hormones have balanced out. The last 3 months, I took a hormone test and they're all balanced out perfectly. And number two was my hair. When I put breast implants in, my hair started to fall a lot. It would break really easily. And now my hair is growing and it's not breaking as easily, which is honestly something that I'm really grateful for. And I'm so happy that I found the solution to it, because as much as I changed my diet, I would take vitamins and do a bunch of things to my hair, I didn't feel that it was getting better. and now I feel that it's actually getting better. So those are the two symptoms that I felt that I have improved since removing my implants. Okay, Mini Chiquita, how long did it take until you were able to recover your strength in your upper body? I'm a ballroom dancer and I'm afraid I will be out of training for a long time. Thank you in advance. It took me about a month to actually be able to go back to the gym and do exercises using my upper body. But after 2 weeks, I was driving, and after 3 weeks, I was working out just using my lower body. So I would say a month at the most. Some women need 6 weeks, but I don't think more than 6 weeks will be necessary to rest. And I think it's worth it because in the long run, 8 weeks, it's nothing compared to a lifetime. Crybaby 420, why don't you use vitamin E oil for the scarring? I do use it actually. I'm using vitamin E, and I'm also using this cream that I got with my surgeon, which is meant to reduce the visibility of scars. Another question is, how do you feel with your partner, and how do you feel them seeing your scars and your breasts the way they are? Honestly, having Dorian, my partner, support me through this whole time, and the fact that he really prefers natural breasts over implants and he doesn't really care about my scars helps me feel more confident in that sense when I'm with him. But I think real confidence and self-love comes within. So this whole experience has taught me to accept my body more, to love my body more as it is. And even though I have these big scars right now, I know that they can go away, and I know that honestly, no one sees them. And if he doesn't mind them and I don't mind them, then I'm fine with him when I'm with him. I don't feel less sexy or less sensual. Nonetheless, I feel good. I feel good, and I like my breasts. I like how they feel. I'm getting more used to feeling them without implants more and more. And for me, confidence comes from within. So as long as I'm practicing self-love and feeding those thoughts of self-love and self-acceptance and confidence, then I'll be fine. Obviously, if I focus on the scars, if I focus on the negative, then I'm only going to amplify the negative. Of course, there are days when I look at my scars and I feel sad about them and I wish I didn't have them, but there's nothing I can do about it. It's really out of my control. It's in the past. The decisions that I made back then was what I thought was the best for myself. And now I've learned so much. I've grown a lot. I've matured. And I honestly feel fine about it. So I also think that this whole experience has taught me to value what is in me more than what is on the outside, and has taught me more about self-love and self-acceptance, which for me is something that I have to work on every single day. And I enjoy working on it. So my intention for sharing my story and for sharing my experience is because I know that I'm not the only one who is going through this or who has gone through this. And I hope and I wish that when I decided to put implants, I had access to all of this different kinds of information so I can make a more rational decision and a more thought out decision, a more educated decision. Back then, I didn't really think about it. I just said, you know what? I want implants and that's it. That's all I care about. And I was seeing everyone around me getting them, and I was seeing, now I know that the most beautiful thing that we have physically is our uniqueness, is how different that we are. And to celebrate our differences and to celebrate our unique selves, I think it's amazing and I think it's wonderful. And I embrace that so much more now than I used to. And instead of trying to be like someone or look like someone, I want to be the best version of myself inside and out. And this experience has reinforced that even more. So I just wanted to mention that. If I could talk to my younger self, I would tell her exactly this: to celebrate yourself as you are, to love yourself. Don't try to be like someone else. Don't try to fit in. Just be you and embrace you and love your breasts just as they are. And that's it. But yeah, I hope that I answered all of your questions. If you have any other questions or comments, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to know your experience with having breast implants, with taking them out. I know a lot of women that have breast implants that have never experienced symptoms. And I know other women that had horrible experiences having breast implants. So everyone is the same. And I can't say that breast implants are good or bad. In my experience, they were not good, they were bad. My body rejected them. And I think that for everyone it's different. So I'm sharing my experience, my personal story, with the hopes that it can help someone else along their journey. I love you. I send you lots of love and light, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.